Slay to the God, slay to the God.
Go
I
ahead.
just want to hear you, like, give me a little improv, girl, because I love that song.
Gosh. Slay to the gods, slay to the gods. I put my beat on, put my beat on. Well, I actually grew up in a suburb outside of Philadelphia.
Okay.
It's a small town called Hatfield, Pennsylvania. And I had a very easy upbringing.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to preface it by saying that I had a two-parent home, parents that loved me a lot. I was raised with faith, and I had a wonderful upbringing. Parents that respected each other and respected me. But then you grow up and you go along your own journey, and I didn't choose college. I didn't choose anything easy. I wanted to be a singer. I wanted to be an entertainer. And then your parents can't shelter you anymore, and they're also not going to carry you anymore. So I'm trying to sing and get a record deal, and not necessarily failing, but not soaring either at that.
Right.
So I had to pick a different path. I had to do something else with myself that I would enjoy doing. So I was a struggling waitress, bartender, hostess, bouncing from bar to bar, and decided that makeup was going to be the route for me, something I could do with my hands that I would still enjoy just as much as music, and it might be easier to crack into. So my struggle really was in trying to become a successful makeup artist, and financially I wasn't making any money. I was barely getting by, and that went on for years and years, coming from my mom, who's like, why don't you just get a corporate job? Why don't you just get health insurance? You have pneumonia. Why don't you get amoxicillin? Why don't you help yourself?
Right.
And I knew that any environment that came with insurance would be one that I wasn't going to enjoy. So I would rather just accept my struggle.
Wow, that's really powerful, because I can relate to that myself. Being a journalist and obviously doing PR now, it has been such a struggle for me. Like, it has been literally that faith, that living by paycheck, but just knowing and believing that something greater is coming.
Right. Honestly, I didn't find my faith in my darkest moments. I found it in my biggest moments. So in my darkest moments, what was pushing me, it wasn't faith. It was knowing that I refused to be the average American. That's what pushed me. I refused to work an office job. So I guess I'm just gonna have to struggle along until something happens. And it was simply, it wasn't even the love of makeup. It was the love of me and the love of I refused to work an office job.
Yeah.
So something's gotta give. And then when miracles started happening in my life, and all of a sudden I'm working with, megastars, that's when I believed, or I couldn't deny a greater power.
I love that. I love that. Now, what is so cool about you is that you're a total artist. You are a beautician. You make people feel beautiful, but you are an artist in the sense of the word musical instrument. Your voice is like an instrument.
Oh my God.
Face, let me tell you, girl.
Thank you.
What is it? I think it's Slay to the Gods. That's your song? Girl, that hook is crazy. Slay to the God, slay to the God. I just want to hear you, like, give me a little improv, girl, because I love that song.
Gosh. Slay to the gods, slay to the gods. I put my beat on, put my beat on. Slay to the gods, slay to the gods. I put my beat on, put my beat on.
Wow.
Isn't it funny how God has such a funny way of saying, I'm going to redirect you and reroute you, but I'm going to bring you back to what it was that you really loved, and how awesome of an opportunity to have an audience that I could sing a little song to that I wrote in my car, and they ate it up.
It's so profound. It's so profound. And one thing I think that resonates within me is that you are just like, I can do it all. You seem to have no fear. Like, you're fearless. You're like, okay, one door closes, it's going to come back around, like you just said. Like, you're just so passionate and so hungry.
I wish that it was as effortless as it looks, but thank God I have, a best friend, I have a boyfriend, I have a mother that remind me that I'm limitless, because I absolutely put limitations on myself that the normal person does. I tell myself that I can't, but then I remember that I believe what people tell me, the people who love me the most, I believe what they tell me. And then also I remember that, look what I've done thus far. And I thought that I was going to be a singer, and God redirected that path. So I really do feel as I get older and I'm growing more and more into my skin and my person, I really do feel like I am limitless. And this makeup was something that I didn't even love as much as music. And I've grown to love it, and I've grown to be successful at it, and I feel like that's just such a huge testament and a reminder to myself that it doesn't always have to be the thing that you're super, super great at. Not that I'm a super great singer or songwriter, but I'm pretty decent, and that's where my heart was. And I feel like, well, I also have a passion for makeup. I also have a passion for inspiring. I have a passion my biggest passion is words. I love writing. So I'm gonna write a book. I'm gonna become an excellent cook. I'm gonna do a lot. I'm gonna raise some really amazing children someday. I'm gonna do it all.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm gonna do it all pretty well.
Absolutely, I'm sure you will. I'm so sure.
American Idol, it was my last straw. It was like me giving myself an ultimatum. Like, if this doesn't fly, nothing else has. I've gotten so close to something successful in music, and then I just fall, and it was so frustrating, and my confidence was so shot, and American Idol was just the last straw. I said, well, and that's how I went into it, and now I realize that's where I failed. I went into it thinking I failed at everything else, so this is my last straw. Whereas everything you go into, you should go into it gung-ho, and you should go into it wholeheartedly. And I sat in that, I made it to Hollywood, I sat in that audience, I saw 10 kids go before me who were way better, and I convinced myself in that spot, in that moment, that I was going home. And God was like, all right, well, the kid next to you who's crap wants it way more, so I'm gonna give it to him.